Hi guys, in this video we are going to learn about Sass. Now, what is Sass? Sass basically allows us to do a lot of cool things that we normally would not be able to do in CSS. Things like nesting imports and a lot of things that I'm going to cover in this video. So I think this is actually a great essential tool to learn, because once you learn Sass, I feel like you will have a very hard time just writing normal CSS. So without further ado, get your Visual Studio Code ready and let's get started. I just created an empty index.html. So create your index.html, and inside our body element we are going to have header 1, and we'll write hello world. We are going to have a button, a hello name. We are going to have a class of contact, so you just write period and then the name, and it gives you a div with a class of contact. Then we are going to have a button, give it a name of submit. It's just a sample text that we are going to use so that we are able to learn Sass. The first thing we need is the actual extension. If you go to the extension store here and expand on it, you'll find you can search for Sass Compiler and click on it and install the Sass Compiler. And it might ask you to restart your Visual Studio Code. Just hit restart. Okay, so what this is going to do is just basically going to take our Sass and it's going to transform it into CSS, because the browser cannot read Sass, it can only read CSS. So this is just basically transforming one thing to another. Okay, so let's create a folder here. I already have a folder written CSS. Create a folder, you can call it CSS, and inside the CSS folder we are going to have a new file. Create a new file and call it style.scss. style.scss. Hit on OK, and now we have a style.scss file, and we are going to style our header element, and we write our background. We are going to give it a background color of light blue. Click on watch Sass. Down here you can see where it is written watch Sass. Click on it. Once you click on watch Sass, it generates for us the style.css file. Okay, we are going to link our style.css file here, and our style.css is found inside our day 10 folder. So we'll write a backslash, then day 10, then inside our CSS folder and style.css. all right, once this is done, go ahead and click on go live so that you are able to view our browser window. Let's have two tabs here so that we can see the changes that will take effect in our style.css as we write our SCSS file. We're going to have a display of flex, and also we're going to justify our content to center. Okay, the first thing, we can create variables. So if you know a bit of JavaScript, then it's super easy. If you don't worry, I'll explain. Let's just create one and we're going to see what it does. So to create a variable, all we have to do is set the $, and we can give it a name. So let's say that I want to have a button or buttons on a website, and I want those buttons to have a specific color like always. So I can create, let's say primary, we say primary BTN, and then a full colon, add colon, and then we give it, like, let us give it a blackish. We have a header button, and we also have another button in our contact class. Okay, but normally this is how we would style our button. A comment on this. In our button, we'll just write header and have the header button, open and close curly braces, and you have a background color. We can write a background color of red. This is normally how we write in CSS. We can also have the contact button, which we will have a background of red. Okay, so we want to have a consistent color here, and look at that, it works, everything is fine. But if we decide that I don't like this color because we want to change to a different color sometimes, that means in every code that I have a button, I'll go changing each and every color button. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use this variable written primary button, and that means that anytime we want to change the background color, we will only come here in our variable and just change the color, and it will take effect to the whole website or to the whole page where we want to change our color. So the variables fixes everything. So rather than adding a color in here, we just add the variable. So let me copy this and paste it in here and in here. So rather than adding a color in here, we are only going to add a color in the variable. All right, and you can see that this color is greenish from up here, but now if I want to change its color, I can change it to yellow, and also in our contact button we can change its color to a different color. We can have another variable of text. We can change the text color. We have a variable with a $sign text color, and we can give it a different color here, a bit grayish. In our header, we are going to add color, and now we are going to bring this variable text color and paste it here, and our header now takes effect. You can see that our hello world changes its color to grayish. We can change this color to reddish. You can see this red color, faint red color. Another thing that we can do is we can nest different things. So what I mean by, rather than writing header here and then writing the button down here, we can also write header and button inside the header element. We'll have a button of background, and we use the same background that we had. The color we call the variable color the primary button. Inside our header, we are able to style everything that is inside this header in one place. Like, we are going to condense everything into one. Like now in this button, we are going to say, well, on hover, we are going to write on hover, we'll insert our $sign, and this is not a $sign, and then full colon, and then hover, we're going to say background red. When you hover around this button, you can see that it changes its color to red. We can also add something else. We can add like after and before. So for that, we are going to add another colon here so that we have two colons, and we're going to have two colons here and just say after, and let's just change the content and say content and write hello. Okay, and now you can see that our button changes to hello. Let's move on another really good, probably my favorite thing you can do in Sass. In Sass is that you can separate your codes into multiple parts. In our CSS folder, we are going to create another file, a new file. And this file, we are going to start with underscore and we write header.scss. We'll cut this code here and then paste it on our header.scss. And you can see that it is not working. So we want to link this file to our style.scss file. So what we need to do is we need to import this one in our main file, in our style.css, and we are going to use an import and add symbol and then import. And then I can just add a quote, backslash, and just add the header name. All right, you can see we have quotes and then period and backslash and header name, and you can see all our styles are now, we are able to see our styles correctly. We want to have our variables separate also so that we have a very clean code. We are going to create another file and we're going to call this variable. Then cut on this code and paste it on our variable.css. You see? Now, in our main file, we are going to import our variables as we did the header. Up here, we are going to write at and then import, then quotes slash variable. All right, and you can see that now we have imported our variables to our main file and we are having a very clean code. When we want to make changes, we can go to our header file and let us change our height, this height. Let us change it to around 20 VH. That's nice. And we can also justify our content to center. And also, then it would be nice to kind of separate all of this into a small like function, like we do in JavaScript. Okay? For that to happen, we are going to talk about mixins. So what is mixin? It's exactly like a function in JavaScript, basically, which allows us to take some code and kind of put it in there, and then we can use it across multiple and basically anywhere we want. To create a mixin, we need to write at sign and then the word mixin and give it a name. So we are going to give our name flex center, open and close curly braces. Here I can just add the aligned items, justify content and display flex. Okay, so we have display flex and justify content center. You see, after adding everything here, our style changes. But now we want to connect our style with our header. So what do? We can just go up here and insert, we'll write at include, and we can just get the name of the mixin, which is flex center. You see, inside our header, we'll write at include flex center with flex center function. Remember those double brackets. Background colors. Okay, So what we can do is we can add parentheses here, and we can add custom parameters that we can change in here. So let me show you how to go about it. Add parentheses inside here, and we'll now change the direction to be different. Now remember how we created variables with the $sign? I'm going to name this direction, and inside here we're going to write flex direction, and then we copy this direction here. And also inside our header we will include the direction, but now we are going to tell it which direction we want it to be. So here we'll write column, and in our contact page or in our contact class we are going to give it a direction of row. All right, maybe we want to change the background, so we are going to create a $sign background, and we want to change the background color. So what we want to do, just do background. I'm going to add this variable again, so let's do background, and here we can add a comma and just define the background color, red in here. They are both red. We can do light blue in our header, and in our contact class we can give it color red. So you can see that now all our styling are coming inside one line. You see, if you want to just create small little functions that again just like this displays flex, and you can do wonders with Sass. All right, because you can just write one line of code everywhere and you're going to be fine, but you can again customize it with different kind of properties in here. Okay, let's comment on this, and we'll go back to the first header style that we had before. Let's say we want to inherit the style of this header to our contact. Rather than copying everything from here, or rather than copying all the styles from header and we want them to be inherited by contact class, so what we do is we are going to use extend. We can just extend by writing add extend and the name of the thing that we want to extend, and in this case header. And what that's going to do is, if we scroll down, it's just going to inherit all the styles from the header. And now if you want to override those styles, we can just go down here and just define our own styles. Maybe I just want to change the background color, and as you can see here, everything still remains the same, but we can change the background color, because remember in CSS or in style.css, the style sheets works from up to down. So everything you have up, everything below is going to override it. Okay, everything below this is going to override anything that is on top there. So if I change the background color down here again, it will override the inherited color, you see. And so we have overridden this color, the blue color, the light blue color, to orange. Okay, there we go. So that's basically extending and inheriting different properties. And the last thing we can do really quickly is we can also do calculations by minus, by plus. We can divide, we can also multiply. And we can do with, like, let's say we have 100%, and then we have minus 100%, and then we can have minus 20%. Well, this is something super obvious, but this is going to work just fine, as you can see, without complicating many things. We have learned about nesting, how to use variables, mixins, and also inheritance. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. This tutorial brings us to the end of our 10 days learning CSS. Go ahead and practice everything that we have learned. It is the only way to learn. So practice the HTML, the CSS styling, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and also share this video to your friends. Enjoy your coding journey.